Guardians of Dominion, Zeus reporting from the front line. Jorgen is back, and most players still do not understand what changed. One hidden interaction is shifting how this matchup starts and who controls the battle first. Watch this carefully. Jorgen is one of the oldest heroes in Hero Wars. I remember him from when I started playing back in 2019. At that time, Jorgen was a very important hero, and players respected what he could do in battle. But after Sebastian was released, everything changed. Jorgen slowly disappeared from many team setups and stayed benched for a very long time. The main reason was simple. Sebastian was directly countering the core idea behind Jorgen. To understand why, we need to look at Jorgen's skills. His ultimate skill, Torment of Powerlessness, summons a skull to the enemy's front line. It deals magic damage to nearby heroes, but the most important part is not the damage. The real value of this skill is that affected enemies cannot gain energy for 9 seconds. And in Hero Wars, 9 seconds is a very long time. That is more than enough time to delay ultimates, slow down momentum, and completely disturb the rhythm of the enemy team. Then we have Jorgen's violet skill, Tainted Wounds. With every attack, Jorgen steals some of the affected enemy's energy. Usually this ends up being the front hero, often the tank, because that is the hero Jorgen keeps hitting again and again. So Jorgen is not only blocking energy gain with his ultimate, but he is also constantly draining energy through his attacks. This creates pressure all the time, not just in one moment. And this is exactly why Jorgen can be so annoying to deal with. He does not need to burst anyone down. He simply makes the enemy team slower, weaker, and more delayed. He interrupts the timing of the battle. We can already see this when Jorgen is used against heroes like Electra. If Electra cannot regenerate energy properly and cannot use her ultimate as often as she needs, then she cannot protect her allies the way she normally would. So even without direct burst damage, Jorgen can heavily reduce the enemy team's effectiveness. But this is where Sebastian enters the story. Both of these important Jorgen skills are countered by Sebastian's Ode to Serenity. That skill removes debuffs from allied heroes and conjures a shield that prevents debuffs from being applied multiple times. On top of that, Sebastian usually activates very early because of his opening energy advantage. So before Jorgen can really do his job, Sebastian removes the debuffs and protects the team. That means Jorgen loses access to the two things that define him most. He cannot properly block energy regeneration, and he cannot consistently steal energy the way he wants. And if Jorgen cannot do those two things, then most of his value disappears. That is why for such a long time many players stopped using him. It was not because Jorgen suddenly became a bad hero. It was because Sebastian was shutting down the most important part of his entire kit. But today, things are different. Now we see Jorgen much more often again in arena, in defense teams, in guild wars, and in many serious setups. And the reason for that comeback is Fluffy. Fluffy's usurpation skill changes this interaction in a very important way. When an enemy uses an ultimate ability, Fluffy cancels it and deals damage to that hero. The damage is not really the main point here. The real power is the cancellation of the ultimate itself. And this is where the synergy with Jorgen becomes so important. Sebastian's Ode to Serenity is an ultimate skill, and Sebastian is often the first hero to use his ultimate in battle. But if Fluffy cancels that first Sebastian ultimate, then Sebastian cannot protect his team at the most important opening moment. That gives Jorgen the window he needs to start working. Once that happens, Jorgen begins doing exactly what he is designed to do. He blocks the enemy from gaining energy with Torment of Powerlessness, and he keeps draining energy from the front hero with Tainted Wounds. Instead of being stopped immediately, Jorgen now has time to slow down the battle, delay ultimates, and stretch the fight into a much longer and more uncomfortable battle for the enemy team. This is why Fluffy is such a big deal for Jorgen. Fluffy created balance in a matchup that for a long time felt one-sided. Before Fluffy, Sebastian would simply shut Jorgen down too early. But now, if Sebastian's first ultimate is cancelled, Jorgen gets the chance to make a huge impact during the first part of the battle. And that early phase matters a lot. Even if Sebastian later uses his ultimate again, the first 20 to 30 seconds can already decide the flow of the fight. That is the time when Jorgen can slow the entire enemy team, delay their ultimates, and break their natural rhythm. Heroes are no longer using their skills when they want to. Their timing becomes messy. Their protection comes later. Their damage comes later. Their control comes later. And that is exactly the kind of battle where Jorgen becomes extremely dangerous. The important thing here is that Jorgen's impact is not limited to one small group of heroes. Jorgen can affect almost the entire hero roster. Tanks, mages, control heroes, warriors, supports, almost every hero in Hero Wars depends on energy. If you interfere with energy, you interfere with the entire battle plan of the enemy team. That is why Jorgen can counter so many heroes at once. He is not just targeting one specific mechanic. He is attacking one of the most important systems in the game, and that is energy. So the real story here is very clear. Jorgen was pushed out of the meta because Sebastian was too strong against him. But then Fluffy entered the picture and gave Jorgen a way back. By cancelling Sebastian's first ultimate, Fluffy opens the door for Jorgen to start controlling the battle. And that is why today we see Jorgen more and more in battles and in defensive setups. The synergy between Jorgen and Fluffy is something every player needs to be aware of, because this is not a small interaction. This is a synergy that can completely change the opening of the battle. If Sebastian loses that first ultimate, Jorgen gets the opportunity to slow down the entire enemy team, delay their momentum, and drag the fight into a longer battle where the opponent cannot function the way they want. And once that happens, Jorgen can impact almost the entire enemy roster. So when we look at the full picture, the message is very clear. Jorgen did not suddenly become powerful again on his own. What changed is that Fluffy gave him the opening he was missing for a very long time. By cancelling Sebastian's first ultimate, Fluffy allows Jorgen to step in, slow down the enemy team, block energy gain, steal energy from the frontline, and completely disturb the timing of the battle. And once that timing is broken, the whole enemy setup starts to feel weaker, slower, and much easier to control. Now I want to hear from you. Have you already tested Jorgen with Fluffy in your own battles? Have you faced this synergy in arena, guild wars, or defensive setups? Let me know in the comments what results you are seeing, because this is one of those interactions that can really change how players build and approach fights. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next Hero Wars breakdown, because we are going to keep covering the strategies, synergies, and hidden mechanics that can give you the edge. Thank you for watching, Guardians. Stay sharp, stay strategic, and remember, the players who understand the battle deeper are the ones who take control of Dominion. Salute and friendship.